everybody, it's Taff with a Taff's Word again. Obviously I'm not kicking them out like I used to, but pre-match, the night before the game, I think, yeah, a good time to put one out. There's a lot going on with the club as always, a lot of negativity following the game on Saturday. I mean, there's people actually talking about us being in a relegation battle already. I mean, a relegation battle. We played game one. We lost 3-0 at a place where we usually lose convincingly. I know that's no excuse to lose a football match because you lose there, we may as well lose it again. No, I get that completely. But they're writing off the new players already. Like I said, Jamil Matt has been labelled the new Newblay. But then Newblay took about 15 games before he got the Newblay tag of being the lazy player that doesn't run around, doesn't jump for the ball and takes the ball out on the wing and doesn't actually go anywhere with it. I can't for the life of me understand how people can get written off in the first game when we're playing away against one of the top teams of the division, who are going to be one of the top teams of the division for the year. Mansfield will be a top 7 team, 100%, along with a few others who I got a good feeling about this season. But we are probably not going to be in that top 7, obviously. We don't have the budget, we don't have the squad, we just don't have no money to improve it that much. Although I think looking at the players on paper, we've improved the squad because I think we've replaced who we've lost and we've added extra elements into our team that we didn't have last season, like a player that could actively run at the opposing defences in Keanu Marsh-Brown. We're talking about a player who can win the ball in the air up front, like Jamil Matt. Newblay should have been doing that, but he wasn't. Nowhere near enough anyway. Wasn't making enough of a nuisance of himself. Hopefully Matt will do that. Ammon does that, but Ammon's not a big bloke. Matt is. So hopefully we'll see that from him. I think we got experience in the centre of our midfield, which is what we were lacking. We were lacking a bit of experience, in my opinion. A bit of footballing know-how, someone who knows a few tricks of the trade, someone who can help run the midfield, help, instill that sort of commanding, what's the word I'm looking for? That sort of commanding sort of presence, that's the one, presence, that's a good word, that is. So that commanding presence in the centre midfield. Ben White obviously moved on, but I think bringing in Franks on a level has been an improvement. Now, bear with me on this one. Don't write off what I'm saying straight away. Ben White was magnificent. He was a great defender, great with the ball at his feet, great at coming forward, really comfortable on the ball. Now, for me, Franks has that League Two. The words can't come to me at the moment. That sort of League Two kind of know-how about him. He knows how to defend League Two attackers. He knows how to defend League Two attacks. He knows how to win the ball in the air. He knows how to win a tackle. He knows how to come away with the ball. When he makes a tackle, and he was a lot of people's man of the match, if you could really pick one from our Mansfield game. So, why is he an improvement? Right. Ben White, when he came against solid League Two attackers, he would get found out from time to time. And I know what some people are going to say. Oh yeah, you say that he was so good last season. Yeah, he was absolutely phenomenal. He was 19 years old as well. And I remember away to Luton, I thought, he's been good and he's getting found out today. And what's going on with him? You know what I mean? He had a bit of naivety about him, where he would get caught out at times in ways Fraser Franks won't. But then at the same time, he had that swagger about him and that footballing ability that Fraser Franks probably doesn't have. The reason why Ben White will be a Premier League defender within 2 or 3 years. Fraser Franks will be a League 2, League 1 defender probably for the rest of his career. Not a bad thing, because I'd certainly swap everything to be a League 1, League 2 defender for the rest of my career. At the end of the day, Fraser Franks is a really, really good replacement for Ben White. I mean, we only had Ben White on loan anyway, didn't we? So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the business we've done. I'm happy with the fact that Joe Day has finally got a bit of competition in goal in Townsend. I think announcing him on the game day and announcing that he was going to be available on the game day, I think that was great. I quite liked that. But Joe Day is welcoming the competition. Great. Townsend has said he's not come to Newport County to sit on the bench. It's great. That means we're going to have two goalkeepers. We're going to have, if Joe Day's not performing, Townsend's there. If Joe Day is performing, it's because Townsend's there. You get what I mean? So I think there's a lot of things to be positive about on the field. Now, we talk about a few things off the field. I know I mentioned something about the WIU. Still in a sensitive position. The things I've been told, I probably shouldn't have been told. End of the day, they can't. I can't be untold them, if that's the right English for that. I can't really talk much about it because I've given my word that I won't go into detail about it. But we're basically saying that the WIU are not as good a landlords as we thought we had, just to put it mildly. But anyway, it's put us in a position now where we don't have a club shop on site at the ground. We don't have a proper ticket office on site. We don't have IT or printing facilities, so we've got to pre-print all of our tickets and hope we don't sell all of them. Well, yeah, we do hope we sell all of them, but hope we haven't got to the point where we don't have any left for anyone. Hopefully, we're not going to get to the point where we've got a load of wastage as well, because that's going to be a bit of a shame. So, yeah, we've been stuck with this now, and it makes us look extremely tin pot, and it's not our fault. Again, there's reasons for us to look tin pot that's completely out of our control. Like the pitch for God knows how many years, well, not God knows, but about 4 years. 4 years of a shite pitch. Well, 5 years, even if you think of the first season we had there, it was a shite pitch then. For 5 years of that pitch, building a reputation for having a crap pitch. Thankfully, that went last season, and yeah, fair enough. That was thanks to WIU, and fair play. They put the investment in. They sorted it out, but from there, what have they done? Well, it'll all come out soon enough, guys. But the really good news about all of this now is that the club have taken on the Ivy Bush. Now, this has put me in a position now because obviously I'm supporting the scrum half because they've obviously sponsored this actual series that you're watching now is sponsored by the scrum half. Absolutely love those guys to bits. They're lovely people, and I will continue to support them. Now, I can't expect everybody to follow me with that when the club are making money, making all the profit coming from the Ivy Bush. So, what I'm hoping is that there'll be people who will come through Maindy to come and watch the game. I'm really hoping that those people support the Ivy, support the scrum half pre-match, and stop in the Ivy Bush for a pint before the game as well, and then go in there afterwards, because I'll be going in the Ivy Bush after the game. I'm going in the scrum half before the game. That's how I'm going to divide my loyalties. Obviously, no one can begrudge me the fact that I got to support the club and anything that the club's going to make money from. But at the same time, we should also be showing our love to establishments that are supporting the club. So we're talking. I think it's around about £500 that the scrum half are put into the club to sponsor player jerseys, and we're talking another £150 that they paid us to sponsor this series. You know, we're talking them putting money into the club and into the supporters groups around the club. I mean, our money went into the club, so technically £650 from the scrum half have gone into the club. £650. Now, if they're going to do that every year, we have to show them some love, you know. Anyone that does anything for the club. And the thing is, the club should be putting out there who's doing what for the club. Because if there's any restaurants out there, like Villadino, for example, if they're putting money into the club, I'm going to be making sure that I'm going to go there and eat. I used to make sure I went to Nando's because they were putting money into the club. But I believe they effed us over on the halftime draw participation, where it was the 10% off with the halftime draw tickets. Well, I know they started refusing to do it in the end. Cineworld started refusing to give the Cineworld tickets that were promised as a prize for every single game. So basically, they're two places that I'll not be supporting from here on in. But then at the same time, anyone that is supporting the club, I'm all over it, as I hope many of you are as well. And I want to give a little mention as well before I go. I don't know an awful lot about the situation at the moment, although there is a page on Facebook for this, so please have a look for it. We got a young 6-year-old lad called Marley. One of our fans, Dan Thomas, him and a few of his mates are friendly with a guy who's Marley's father, and Marley needs a bone marrow donation, basically to help cure whatever it is he's got. I mean, like I say, I'm still quite new to this situation. We pushed it out through the Amber Army to try and raise some awareness on there. I'm wanting to mention it on here as well, because for me, we're talking about a 6-year-old child now, and anything anyone can do to help that cause, I think is a no-brainer. You've got to do it. It's as simple as that. So I'm hoping that we can raise that awareness, and hopefully plenty of people will get their swabs done, and we'll find a good match for him. I know, when you're donating bone marrow, it's a very painful procedure. But for me, I'm certain that I'm going to go and get a swab and see if I could be a match. Then for a 6-year-old boy, absolutely, I'd be worth that pain, because at the end of the day, what's a little bit of pain for a lifetime for a child? It's nothing, you know. So I'm hoping that many other people are going to be thinking the same way as me. So yes, there we go. That's where we'll leave it, guys. I'm looking forward to our first home game of the season. A lot of love for the Yale, Yale, Yale chant, our version of it. So hopefully we're going to get a lot of people singing along. We did put it out with the words as well on social media. So get involved, guys. Let's make the place a noisy, loud, atmospheric place. We used to have it. We lost it a fair bit. We got to get it back. So let's all muck in together and make it happen. Let's drive Crewe out of town and take that 3 points. Alright, so yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow back at the Rodney Parade. And as always, cheerio for now, and up the county.